Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video, we're going to explore something really interesting and exciting. So, if you want to find out what you'll learn by staying with us till the end, make sure to watch the whole video. Stay with us, because whatever you might miss could be really important. Let's get started. We're talking about the 1967 USA 1 dime coin. A dime that, on the surface, might look like a regular 10-cent piece, but if you take a deeper look, you'll find that it's packed with history, rarity, and an astonishing value that'll make your jaw drop. Stick around, because by the end of this video, I'll reveal why the 1967 dime can be worth up to $142,000. So, what makes the 1967 dime so special? Let's first take a step back and look at the historical context of the coin. In 1967, the United States was in the midst of a transformative period. It was a time of cultural upheaval, political change, and economic shifts. The country was deeply involved in the Vietnam War, and the civil rights movement was making waves across the nation. This was a time when the country was defining its identity in a very real, raw way. Amidst all of this, the U.S. Mint was still working away, creating coins that would represent the American people for years to come. Now, let's dive into the coin itself. The 1967 dime, like many of its predecessors, features the iconic portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse. Roosevelt's image has graced the dime since 1946, a tribute to his leadership during World War II and his role in creating the Social Security system. The obverse design was created by John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and it remains one of the most recognizable coin designs in American history. Roosevelt's face is depicted in profile, facing left, his expression solemn and determined, a fitting tribute to a president who led the nation through some of its most challenging times. On the reverse of the 1967 dime, we see the familiar design that has adorned dimes since 1946, a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. These three symbols represent liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. Surrounding them are the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, the Latin phrase meaning out of many, one, reflecting the unity of the country's diverse states. While the design may be simple, it's also incredibly powerful, capturing the essence of American values. At first glance, the 1967 dime may seem like just another run-of-the-mill coin. After all, it's part of the same Roosevelt dime series that had been circulating for over 2 decades. But this is where things get interesting. If you take a closer look at the 1967 dime, you'll realize that it's more than just a standard piece of currency. The 1967 dime, like many coins from the 1960s, was part of a transitional period in American coinage, a time when the U.S. Mint was moving away from using silver in its coins. Before 1965, dimes were made of 90% silver, but by 1965, the U.S. government had made the decision to remove silver from the majority of its coins due to the rising cost of the metal. In 1965, the dime switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition, a move that would change the future of coinage in the U.S.So. While the 1967 dime was made with this new composition, it still had ties to the past. Even though it wasn't composed of silver, it was minted during a time of transition, when Americans were still familiar with the silver content in their coins. This makes the 1967 dime an interesting artifact from a pivotal moment in U.S. history. But what makes this coin even more intriguing is something much rarer, an error that would make certain 1967 dimes incredibly valuable. Coin errors have always fascinated collectors. From misprints to double strikes, minting errors can turn a coin that was originally worth just a few cents into a highly sought-after collector's item. And this is exactly what happened with the 1967 dime. During the production of the 1967 dimes, some of them were struck with a major error that would later make them highly coveted by numismatists. This error involves the missing mint mark, and it's known as the no mint mark 1967 dime. Normally, each U.S. coin produced at the mint carries a mint mark to indicate where it was struck, either D for Denver or S for San Francisco. However, a small number of 1,967 dimes were produced without any mint mark at all. These no mint mark dimes were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but for some reason, the mint mark was either left off or didn't make it onto the coin during production. At first, these errors might have gone unnoticed, but when collectors started to realize that certain 1967 dimes were missing their mint mark, they quickly became a hot commodity. Now, you might be wondering, how valuable can a no mint mark 1967 dime really be? After all, it's just a small error. But in the world of coin collecting, errors like this are worth their weight in gold. The rarity of the 1967 no mint mark dime is what drives its value. Coins that are struck with errors, especially ones as unusual as missing mint marks, can fetch impressive prices, especially when they're in good condition, and here's where the big reveal comes in. The value of a 1967 no mint mark dime can be as high as $142,000 in pristine condition. That's right, $142,000 for a single dime. If you happen to come across a 1967 dime without a mint mark and in excellent condition, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. This kind of rarity is exactly what collectors are willing to pay top dollar for, and the fact that such a small minting error can lead to such a staggering price is a testament to how valuable rare coins can become. But how do you identify one of these rare dimes? First, it's important to remember that the 1967 no mint mark dimes were minted in Philadelphia, and they will not have a mint mark on the reverse side of the coin. This is the key feature that sets them apart from other 1967 dimes, which may have a D or S mint mark. If you have a 1967 dime and you don't see a mint mark, it's worth taking a closer look. If the coin is in excellent condition and has the right features, it could be worth a small fortune, and if you happen to find one of these rare dimes in your collection or your pocket change, consider yourself lucky. Not only do you have a piece of U.S. history, but you might also have an incredibly valuable coin that could change your financial future. So, what makes the 1967 no mint mark dime so special? It's all about rarity. Only a small number of these error coins were produced, and as time has passed, they've become increasingly rare and highly sought after. The fact that this coin can fetch such a high price is a reflection of how collectors value rarity, history, and minting errors. A simple dime from 1967, a year that might seem ordinary at first, has become an extraordinary coin in the eyes of collectors. In conclusion, the 1967 USA 1 dime coin is much more than just a 10-cent piece. It's a symbol of an era in American history, a transitional coin that reflects the changing times of the 1960s. And for those who are fortunate enough to discover a 1967 no mint mark dime, it can represent an incredible opportunity, worth up to $142,000. So, the next time you come across a 1967 dime, take a moment to examine it closely. You might just be holding on to a rare treasure. Thank you so much for joining me on this coin collecting journey today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. And if you have a 1967 dime or any other rare coins in your collection, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Until next time, happy collecting. In the second place, we're diving into a coin that may appear to be just another dime, but as you'll soon find out, there's much more to the 1984 USA 1 dime than meets the eye. You're about to discover a hidden treasure that's not just rare, but incredibly valuable. This seemingly ordinary 10-cent coin has an intriguing story behind it, and by the end of this video, I'll be revealing its astonishing value, an incredible $122,000. You won't want to miss this one. First, let's step back in time to the year 1984. It was a pivotal year in U.S. history. The country was in the midst of the Reagan administration, with Ronald Reagan serving his second term as president. It was a time of economic recovery, following the recessions of the late 1970s and early 1980s. The United States was experiencing significant change, both politically and culturally. This was also the year that the country celebrated the 50th anniversary of the Social Security Act, a monumental piece of legislation signed by Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1935. It was a time of optimism and growth, but amidst all of this, the U.S. Mint continued its work, producing the coins that would become an important part of the nation's economy, and that brings us to the 1984 dime. Now, the dime itself, like many other coins of the 1980s, wasn't particularly unique or special when it was first produced. The design on the dime had been established decades earlier and was still in use. The 1984 dime, like all dimes produced after 1946, featured the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt's image was chosen to appear on the dime shortly after his death, honoring his leadership during World War II and his pivotal role in creating Social Security. The design, created by John R. Sinek, remained largely unchanged for decades. Roosevelt's portrait is on the obverse side of the coin, facing left, with the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting. The reverse side of the 1984 dime features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The words, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, Latin for, out of many, one, are also featured on this side. While the design was iconic and instantly recognizable, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary in 1984. In fact, the 1984 dime looked much like the ones produced in previous years, continuing the long tradition of the Roosevelt dime. However, what makes the 1984 dime particularly interesting is what happened during its production. For years, the U.S. Mint had been using copper-nickel clad for its coinage, including the dime. In 1984, this continued as standard practice, with the dime being made of a composition of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. While the dime was still circulating as a regular piece of currency, what many people didn't realize is that some of the dimes from this year were struck with incredibly rare minting errors. And it's these errors that would eventually make the 1984 dime a highly sought-after item for collectors. One of the most famous and valuable errors that appeared in the 1984 dime series is known as the 1984 double die error. This type of error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process. As a result, the image on the coin becomes doubled, with the design appearing to have two impressions. In the case of the 1984 dime, this error causes the date, the inscriptions, and other details on the coin to appear as though they've been struck twice, creating a blurry, doubled effect. This doubled die variety is highly prized by collectors because of its rarity. Coins with this type of minting error are not only difficult to find but are also extremely valuable. A simple dime, worth just 10 cents in its normal state, can become a small treasure worth thousands of dollars when a minting error like this is involved. As the years went by, collectors began to realize that the 1984 double die dimes were something special, and they began to seek them out. But why does this particular error in the 1984 dime matter so much? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. A dime that was produced in large quantities, like the 1984 dime, wouldn't usually be worth more than its face value unless it had something unique about it. A double die error is one of those rare circumstances that causes a normally ordinary coin to become something incredibly valuable. The rarity of this particular error, combined with its high demand from numismatists and coin collectors, is what makes the 1984 double die dime such a sought-after item. So, what kind of value are we talking about here? You might be surprised to learn that a 1984 dime with a double die error can be worth as much as $122,000. That's right, $122,000 for a dime. If you happen to find one of these rare 1984 dimes with the double die error in excellent condition, you could be looking at an amount far beyond its original 10-cent value. This is the kind of discovery that sends coin collectors into a frenzy, and the prices can skyrocket depending on the quality of the coin and the rarity of the error. The value of a 1984 double-die dime is largely determined by its condition. Coins that are in pristine, uncirculated condition are the most valuable. The highest grade examples of the 1984 double-die dime have been known to fetch over $100,000 at auction. This makes it one of the most valuable dimes from the 1980s, and it's a coin that has earned its place among the most valuable coins in U.S. numismatics. So, if you happen to find a 1984 dime in your pocket change or in your collection, it's worth taking a closer look. Examine the date, the inscriptions, and any doubling that may have occurred. The double-die error is often easiest to spot in the date, where the digits may appear blurred or doubled. But make sure to check other parts of the coin as well, as the error could affect the lettering or other design elements, and if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare dimes, you might be holding a small fortune. The 1984 double-die dime is a great example of how something as simple as a dime can turn into a rare and highly valuable coin. What was once considered just pocket change can become a treasure worth tens of thousands of dollars. In the world of coin collecting, this is exactly the kind of discovery that keeps collectors coming back for more. So, what's the takeaway here? The 1984 USA 1 dime may seem like just another dime, but thanks to a rare minting error, it's far from ordinary. The double-die error that appeared on some of these dimes has made them highly desirable and incredibly valuable. If you happen to come across one of these error coins, you could be looking at a windfall of $122,000 or more. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1984 double-die dime is one of the most exciting examples of how rarity and history can combine to create something truly extraordinary. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the 1984 dime and its fascinating journey from ordinary currency to rare collector's item. If you have any rare coins in your collection or even in your change jar, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another deep dive into the world of coins. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep an eye out for those hidden treasures. The top 3. I'm thrilled you could join me today for a journey into the world of rare coins, a world where seemingly ordinary currency hides some extraordinary treasures. Today, we're diving into the 1990 USA 1 dime coin. At first glance, the 1990 dime might seem like just another everyday dime, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. By the end of this video, I'll reveal a fascinating story about this coin, and what you might not know is that the 1990 dime could be worth an astounding $113,000. Stick around, because you're going to want to hear the full story behind this rare find. Let's begin by setting the stage. The year 1990 was a significant moment in U.S. history. The country was in the midst of a transition from the 1980s to the 1990s, a period marked by change both culturally and economically. President George H.W. Bush was in office, and the U.S. economy was emerging from a recession. Internationally, the Cold War was drawing to a close, and the world was beginning to see new shifts in global power. Within the United States, life was bustling, pop culture was booming with the rise of the internet, and the world was becoming more interconnected. While all of this was happening, the U.S. Mint was still doing what it does best, producing the coins that would continue to represent the country and its values. That's when the 1991 dime coin came into the picture. Just like its predecessors, the 1990 dime featured a design that had been in place for decades, the iconic image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. First introduced in 1946, the Roosevelt dime was chosen to honor the president who led the nation through some of its most difficult times, including the Great Depression and World War II. The coin was designed by the U.S. Mint's chief engraver, John R. Sinek, who carefully crafted Roosevelt's image in a way that conveyed dignity, strength, and leadership. On the obverse of the coin, you'll see Roosevelt's portrait in profile, facing left. His serious expression and strong features reflect the resilience and fortitude that he displayed during his presidency. Inscriptions around the edge of the coin read, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of minting, in this case, 1990. The design is both simple and elegant, capturing the essence of a man who played such an important role in shaping modern America. Flip the coin over, and you'll find the reverse design, which hasn't changed since 1946. The reverse side of the 1990 dime depicts a symbolic image of a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch. The torch represents liberty, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch signifies strength. These symbols are encircled by the words United States of America and E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one, further emphasizing the core principles that the United States was founded upon. The design may seem straightforward, but it's a perfect visual representation of what the nation stands for. But while the 1990 dime may seem like a typical coin in many ways, there's more to it than meets the eye. You see, the real story behind the 1990 dime revolves around a specific type of error that can make this coin worth a fortune. While most coins from this era were struck without incident, some dimes produced in 1990 had an extremely rare and sought-after error that turned an otherwise ordinary coin into a high-value collectible. That error is known as the 1990 double die variety. For those who might not be familiar with minting errors, let me explain. A double die error occurs when the die used to strike the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to appear as though it's been struck twice. This gives the coin a blurry or doubled appearance, particularly around the date and inscriptions. Double die errors can happen with any denomination, but they are especially prized in certain coins, such as the dime, because they're so rare and can significantly increase the coin's value. The 1990 double die dime is a great example of a coin that went through this kind of error. When these coins were struck, the result was a subtle but noticeable doubling effect on the date, the word liberty, and other parts of the design. The most noticeable doubling usually occurs on the 9 and the 0 in the year 1990. This creates a double vision effect that can be seen with a magnifying glass or under close inspection. At first glance, you might not even notice the error, but that's what makes finding one of these 1990 double die dimes so special. A coin that was intended to be worth just 10 cents could end up being worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's all about rarity, and the 1990 double die dime is extremely rare, making it highly sought after by collectors. What's even more impressive is that these double die errors don't appear on every 1990 dime. Only a small number of them were struck with this defect, which means that finding one is akin to stumbling upon a hidden treasure. So, let's talk about what makes the 1990 double die dime worth so much. Coins with minting errors are valued based on their rarity, the severity of the error, and their condition. The more noticeable the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. For the 1990 double die dime, coins that exhibit clear doubling on the date and inscriptions are considered the most valuable. But it's not just the error that drives the value, it's also the condition of the coin. A dime that is in pristine, uncirculated condition will fetch a significantly higher price than one that's worn or damaged. Now, here's where the jaw-dropping part comes in. A 1990 double die dime, in perfect condition, can fetch up to $113,000 at auction. Yes, you heard that correctly. A dime that was originally worth just 10 cents can be worth over $100,000. This incredible value is a testament to how rare and highly prized minting errors can be in the world of numismatics. Collectors are constantly on the lookout for these hidden gems, and when one surfaces, it can spark fierce competition at auctions, driving the price up to staggering amounts. The 1990 double die dime is one of the most valuable coins from the 1990s, and it has earned its place among the most sought-after dimes in American coinage. Its rarity, historical significance, and the allure of a minting error make it an exciting coin for collectors to add to their portfolios. If you happen to find one of these rare dimes, it could very well be a game-changer for your collection. But how can you tell if your 1990 dime is a double die error? The most important thing to look for is the doubling on the date and the inscription, Liberty. The doubling will be subtle, but it should be clearly visible if you examine the coin closely. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe can help you spot the error more easily. Once you've identified the error, it's time to check the coin's condition. Coins that are graded as uncirculated or MS65 or higher will be the most valuable, so if your coin is in top-notch shape, you could be looking at a significant payout. Now, if you don't have a magnifying glass on hand or aren't sure how to properly grade a coin, don't worry. There are plenty of resources available to help you identify and assess the value of your coins. Professional coin grading services, like the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC, and the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, can evaluate your coin and provide an official grade. If your 1990 dime is confirmed to be a double die error in excellent condition, you could be holding a small fortune in your hand. In conclusion, the 1990 USA 1 dime coin may seem like just another dime at first, but hidden beneath its familiar design lies an error that makes it incredibly valuable. The 1990 double die dime is a rare and highly sought-after collectible that can be worth as much as $113,000. If you come across a 1990 dime, make sure to take a close look. It could be worth far more than its face value. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and this dime is a perfect example of how a small mistake in minting can lead to a big payoff. Thank you so much for joining me today on this coin collecting adventure. I hope you enjoyed learning about the fascinating history of the 1990 dime and the story behind its impressive value. If you have any rare coins in your collection, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep your eyes peeled for those rare treasures. The second last coin is from the 1991 USA 1 dime coin. While it may look like just another dime, you're in for a real treat. By the end of this video, you'll discover how this coin can be worth a staggering $108,000. Stick with me, and you'll see why this dime has become a highly sought-after gem among collectors. Let's take a step back in time. The year is 1991. The United States is in the midst of a transformational period. The country is experiencing a time of economic growth and international change. President George H.W. Bush is in office, having completed his first term in 1990, and he's facing a new decade with global tensions easing as the Cold War draws to a close. On the home front, the early 90s saw the rise of a new wave of pop culture, with the internet beginning to gain traction and new technologies shaping the future. But while all of this is happening, the US Mint continues its crucial work, producing the coins that would be used for everyday transactions across the nation. Among these coins is the 1991 1 dime. Though its production was standard, little did anyone know that this particular year would give birth to some incredibly rare and valuable errors that would later fetch impressive sums. As we dive into the specifics of the 1991 dime, let's first talk about its design. For decades, the design of the Roosevelt dime had remained unchanged. The coin, which had been in circulation since 1946, bore the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Roosevelt's image was selected shortly after his death, in recognition of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II. His commitment to creating social security and serving as the nation's commander-in-chief during such turbulent times made him a fitting figure to grace the coin. The dime's design was the work of John R. Sinek, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. Sinek's depiction of Roosevelt was simple but dignified, showing the president in left profile with his iconic eyeglasses. Surrounding the portrait are the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God We Trust," and the year of minting, 1991 in this case. The reverse side of the coin features three powerful symbols: a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, which stand for liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. Above these symbols, you'll find the inscription, United States of America, and below, E pluribus unum, which translates to, out of many, one. So, you might be thinking, that sounds like a regular dime, nothing too special here. But as with many coins in the world of numismatics, the value of a coin can be hidden in plain sight. The 1991 dime is a great example of how even the most seemingly ordinary coins can become extraordinary treasures, thanks to an error in minting. One of the most notable issues with the 1991 dime involves a specific type of minting error known as a die clash. A die clash occurs when two dies, the engraved metal tools used to strike the coin, come into contact with each other without a planchet, the blank metal disc that is struck to form the coin, in between them. This results in parts of the design from one die being transferred onto another part of the coin. In the case of the 1991 dime, this clash often left faint impressions from the obverse die on the reverse of the coin, creating an unusual and rare feature. A coin with a die clash isn't just visually interesting, it's a collector's dream. Now, you might be wondering why this error would increase the value of the coin. Well, it's all about rarity and demand. The U.S. Mint strives to produce coins with as few imperfections as possible. However, when errors like the die clash do occur, they create something that's both unique and limited in number. As coin collectors know, rarity is key to a coin's value. The more unique the error, the higher the demand. As more collectors began to realize the significance of the 1991 dime with the die clash error, the value of these coins skyrocketed, and we're not just talking about small increases in value here. Coins with the 1991 die clash error in near-perfect condition can fetch incredible amounts. A 1991 dime with a visible die clash error can sell for upwards of $108,000 at auction. That's right, a coin that was originally worth just 10 cents can now be worth over $100,000. It's a jaw-dropping amount, but it's the reality for these rare and highly sought-after coins. The 1991 dime has become one of the most expensive dimes on the market, with collectors fighting to get their hands on these limited edition errors. But how can you tell if you found one of these rare 1991 dimes? First, you'll want to inspect the coin carefully for any signs of a die clash. The most common indicator is faint, overlapping impressions that are visible on the reverse side of the coin. These impressions are often hard to spot with the naked eye, so using a magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe can help. The die clash usually results in a blurry or distorted area on the coin, and it may appear as if part of Roosevelt's portrait or the text from the obverse is faintly visible on the reverse. The next step is to examine the condition of the coin. As with any collectible, the better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Coins that are well preserved and show minimal wear and tear will be worth far more than those with scratches, discoloration, or other damage. If you find a 1991 dime with a die clash error that is in pristine condition, it could be worth significantly more than one that is worn down from years of circulation. Now, it's not just the die clash error that makes the 1991 dime special. There are other rare varieties and errors that exist within the 1991 series as well. For example, there have been some reports of dimes from 1991 that feature unusual characteristics, such as misstrikes or off-center strikes. While these errors are less common than the die clash variety, they still add to the appeal of the coin and contribute to its overall value. So, what makes the 1991 dime truly fascinating is the combination of rarity, historical significance, and the allure of the error. These factors all contribute to its status as a valuable collector's item. The 1991 dime, with its die clash error and potential for other minting anomalies, is a prime example of how seemingly small mistakes during the minting process can lead to extraordinary discoveries in the world of coin collecting. In conclusion, the 1991 USA 1 dime is far from ordinary. While it may seem like just another dime at first glance, it has earned its place as one of the most valuable dimes in U.S. coinage. Thanks to rare minting errors, such as the die clash, this dime can be worth a jaw-dropping $108,000. If you happen to find one of these rare dimes in your collection or while searching through your change, take a closer look. You might just be holding a small fortune in your hand. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed learning about the fascinating 1991 dime and the rare error that makes it so valuable. If you have any rare coins or interesting discoveries to share, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep an eye out for those hidden treasures. In the end of this video, I'm excited to bring you another fascinating deep dive into the world of rare coins. Today, we're going to explore the 1996 USA 1-dime coin, a coin that, at first glance, may seem like just another dime, but trust me, there's more to it than meets the eye. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll find out just how valuable a 1996 dime can be, up to $97,000. Yes, you heard that right, and the story behind it is just as incredible as the value. Let's set the stage by looking at the year 1996. It was a time when the US was experiencing a technological boom, with the internet rapidly changing how people interacted and communicated. Bill Clinton was in his first term as president, and the world was seeing rapid globalization, economic growth, and new technological breakthroughs. But while all of this was happening, the U.S. Mint was continuing its mission to produce the coins that would circulate in every American pocket and purse. Now, you might be wondering what makes the 1996 dime stand out. After all, the dime is part of a long-standing series that's been in circulation since 1946. What could possibly make the 1996 edition special? The answer, as always in the world of coin collecting, lies in the details. Let's talk about the design first. The 1996 1-dime coin is part of the Roosevelt dime series, which has featured the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt since its introduction in 1946. Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States, was a fitting figure to grace this coin. He led the country through the Great Depression and World War II, and he remains one of the most beloved presidents in American history. The Roosevelt dime was introduced just after Roosevelt's death as a tribute to his leadership during those tumultuous times. The coin's design was created by the U.S. Mint's chief engraver, John R. Sinek. Sinek's design shows Roosevelt in left profile, with his characteristic glasses and stern, yet kind expression. The simplicity of the design speaks to Roosevelt's calm and steady leadership, and the artist captured that essence perfectly along with Roosevelt's portrait. The obverse of the 1996 dime features the inscriptions, "Liberty, in God we trust," and, of course, the year, 1996. These inscriptions provide the context for the coin, identifying both the nation and the year it was minted. On the reverse of the coin, we see a design that has remained unchanged since the Roosevelt dime was first introduced. The reverse features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbols of liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. Above these symbols, you'll see United States of America, and at the bottom, E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one, a motto that reflects the unity of the United States. This simple yet powerful reverse design is part of the coin's enduring appeal, but while the 1996 dime looks pretty standard on the surface, there's more than meets the eye. It's important to remember that coin collecting is often about finding something rare or unusual, and the 1996 dime happens to have a specific error that has made it highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's talk about that error, the one that has catapulted the 1996 dime into the upper echelons of coin collecting. Like many other coins, the 1996 dime was produced in a variety of different minting locations. The U.S. Mint operates several minting facilities, and dimes can come from the Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco mints. Each mint produces coins with slightly different characteristics, and while this doesn't always result in a significant increase in value, it can be important when it comes to rare minting errors. One particular error from the 1996 dime series is the infamous clashed die variety. A clashed die error occurs when the dies used to strike the coin come into contact with one another without a planchet, the blank metal disc that forms the coin, in between them. This causes portions of one die's design to be transferred onto the other die, resulting in a strange overlapping of design elements. On the 1996 dime, the clash die error produced faint impressions of Roosevelt's portrait on the reverse side of the coin, creating a fascinating anomaly that collectors have been eager to find. These clash die errors are rare and extremely valuable. They occur when the dies become misaligned or strike the planchet without the proper spacing, causing unexpected overlaps. While die clashing can sometimes result in a coin that's difficult to read or interpret, it can also lead to some truly unique and collectible pieces, like the 1996 clash die dime. What makes this particular error so valuable is its rarity and the fact that the die clash is not always obvious. In most cases, the faint impressions are subtle, and it takes a sharp eye to notice them. However, when you find one of these dimes in mint condition, especially if the die clash is clearly visible, you could be holding a rare coin that could fetch a premium price at auction. So, how much is a 1996 clash die dime worth? Well, if you happen to have one of these rare coins in your collection, you could be sitting on a small fortune. The 1996 dime with a visible clash die error has sold for as much as $97,000 in some cases, depending on its condition and how pronounced the error is. This makes the 1996 dime one of the most valuable dimes from the 1990s, and potentially the most valuable dime in general, relative to its age and rarity. But don't get too discouraged if you're still holding a regular 1996 dime, because there are plenty of other ways to make your coin collection valuable. Coins with significant wear or other minor errors may still have a premium value, though not quite on the level of the clash die varieties. Even if you don't have one of the clash die dimes, the 1996 series remains an important part of U.S. coinage and a highly collectible era in American history. So, how can you identify a clash die error on your 1996 dime? The most important thing to look for is faint, overlapping images on the reverse side of the coin. This could include partial outlines of Roosevelt's face or other inscriptions from the obverse side that have transferred over to the reverse. These impressions are usually small and subtle, so you'll need to examine the coin carefully. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe will be invaluable when it comes to spotting these faint markings. If you're fortunate enough to find one of these rare 1996 dimes, it's crucial to have it professionally graded by a coin grading service. The condition of the coin, along with the prominence of the die clash error, will determine how much it's worth. Coins that are in pristine condition and show clear signs of the die clash error can command the highest prices, but even those in less than perfect condition can still be valuable. In summary, the 1996 USA 1 dime may seem like an ordinary coin, but it has earned its place as one of the most valuable coins of its time. Thanks to the rare and highly sought-after clash die error, the 1996 dime has become a collector's dream, with some fetching as much as $97,000 at auction. If you find one of these coins in your collection or while searching through your change, don't overlook it. There could be a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you found the story of the 1996 dime as fascinating as I did. If you have any rare coins in your collection, or if you've ever found a coin with an interesting error, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time, happy collecting, and keep your eyes peeled for those rare treasures.